Hey everyone, it's Kelsey. Thank you so much for coming to video 3 of my Bring Your Creative Dreams to Life video series. This is actually the first time I've done like a planned out, scheduled video series of any kind. Usually I'm flying by the seat of my pants, so it's been really fun. I appreciate everyone who's taken part, who's done the homework and things like that. Today's our last video. The fun is coming to an end. So today I asked my people before I made this series, what are the biggest challenges that you're having around creative dreams and bringing yours to life? And a lot of people had things to say around time. It had to do with, some people said, I just don't have time. I don't know where to find the time. Some people said, when I get the time, I procrastinate. And then some people are even having the challenge of, I feel guilty taking time away to do my own stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You've got your sort of creative dream picked out from video 1. Video 2, we let go of some self-doubt. And video 3, we're going to think about in our daily lives as we are right here, right now. Not as some person that we wish we were, but we're not. But our lives and our calendars right now. How we can make this space to bring our creative dream to life. Whatever that is. Whether that's a business, writing a book, making art, taking your art more seriously and starting to sell it, anything where you have a thing that you love to do creatively and you want to, like, you haven't done it in a while or someday maybe you'll do it, figuring out the time is going to be a way to get you moving faster and get those creative juices going so you can actually follow that dream now where it takes you with no expectation of, is it going to make me famous? Is it going to make me money? Like, that is not at all what I'm about. What I'm about is becoming the person who does the things with your life that you want to do. Even if you have a day job, even if you have a family, even if you have other things, like anybody can bring their creative dreams to life. That is an absolute fact. So today we're going to talk about time. Time management. So point number 1 is forgive yourself for the way that you have used time up until now. For any time that you slip up, I want you to take a deep breath and like really, really say, I forgive myself for the way I've used my time in my life. Because when it comes to time management, what I see in my coaching clients is we're really, really, really hard on ourselves because we believe that there is this end point where our time management is perfect and we have everything scheduled and we're never scrolling Facebook and we're never sleeping in and we're never accidentally eating junk food when we're supposed to be working, and so it's like anytime we slip up or anytime we do something that feels like it's not good time management wise, I feel like we get really frustrated, we get really hard on ourselves, like, oh, there I go again, wasting time. And that energy of being really angry at ourselves about wasting a few minutes here and there, or even a few days, that energy of being really hard on ourselves, that's perfectionism. It's not going to get us where we want to go. So time management in this case is we're not robots. And even if you compulsively focused on making sure every single thing in your day was scheduled, that you never wasted a moment, that you crossed off all the boxes, first of all, that's a very cramped energy, so I would question whether you're really feeling like creatively free if your whole focus is on that. Secondly, life is going to happen. Someone's car is going to break down and they need you to get them. Someone's going to be in the hospital. You're going to have to travel unexpectedly. There's going to be things that happen. You're going to get sick and not be at full capacity. So I want you to see time management. Of course, there are ways that we can get better at it step by step. There's plenty of books we can read. There's plenty of strategies and things we can do. I'm not taking away from that. It's a good thing to learn, oh, maybe that would work for me. Try it out, see how it goes. We could definitely keep improving, but to me, the very first step is stopping so hard on yourself about not having it perfect. You're not a robot. Life is going to happen. We can still figure it out right here and right now. So my question for you is, when we want to do a creative dream, it's very hard sometimes to see, when we're in it, it's hard to see the first steps. We see the whole picture and we get frustrated. So one of the homework assignments below is, what are 1 or 2 steps that will take like 15 minutes each that you could take towards your creative dream? Think about things that will like at least get you in action. So like if you're making jewelry, maybe for 15 minutes you could glance at your supplies and see what you need to order. That's it. Maybe your second activity, if you did 2 in a week, for example, would be to order that stuff you're missing. But you don't need to like read 5 books about how to market your jewelry. You don't need to make 20 necklaces. What are 2 things? If you're having a hard time starting, find 2 things this week that you can do that will move you forward. And make sure it's something like, for example, I work with a lot of clients who write books, which I love. I'm an author. I wrote a book. Writing books is like my magical thing. I love it so much. I love helping people with it. Sometimes, like, before we even start writing a book, we'll get like down the rabbit hole of research around how to market a book. Yes, that can be fun. Yes, that can be inspiring, but that's not really like an activity that's moving us forward. So think about where you're actually at, like what you probably should be doing with your creative dream. Pick 2 activities, 15 minutes each, that you can do this week. That way, there's a very common thing that happens to like all of us, is that sometimes I do have the time to work on things, but because I'm not clear on what I'm supposed to be doing, I end up wasting it. Like, if you're flustered and overwhelmed and you have 20 minutes to work on your thing, you might just end up scrolling Instagram anyway because you like don't really know what to do. So part of the homework is come up with 2 things to do so that when you have 15-minute time blocks here and there, you can do them and feel momentum. The point is to get in momentum and be less overwhelmed, take small steps. So one other thing is guilt. It is very common to feel guilty over, you know, if you have people in your world, you have commitments, you have classes, you have jobs, and if you're on a board or a club or whatever, you know your life. I don't know your life at this point, but you know your life, you know the commitments you have. And sometimes we fall in a trap of feeling really guilty because we don't want to say no to other people, or, you know, because we want to do our creative dream, it feels selfish to say something like, no, sorry, I can't go to a movie with you. I'm working on my book. What I want to talk to you about that is, it's really an issue around boundaries. 2 things. 1, when I hear that you're feeling guilty about taking any time for yourself, what I'm hearing is that picture your calendar, like picture a physical calendar on the wall. What I'm hearing you say is that everyone else gets to basically have dibs on your calendar. Like your job gets to walk up to the calendar and write down stuff. And your partner gets to walk to the calendar and write stuff. And your clingy friend gets to walk up to the calendar and write stuff. And the 5 clubs you thought would be fun to join they all get access to your calendar, and they're just writing stuff, your kids' activities. Everyone's just writing stuff on your calendar. So when you look back at it, but you won't. So it's like you're giving everyone else access to your life, but this is your life. This is your one precious, beautiful life in this body. I don't know what happens after this life, but this is where you are, and these are the dreams that you have. Yes, it's beautiful that you're a giving, soulful person, and you're giving people access to your time and your calendar and your commitments, but you deserve to be able to walk up to that calendar and take an hour or 2 to say, actually, I'm going to work on my own stuff. So that's what I think about when I think about feeling guilty about taking time away. Another thing is, when you show up in your life as someone who has an idea and gets excited about it and does it, you inspire the hell out of everyone around you, even the people who at first might resent it. So let's say you tell your friend, hey, sorry, I can't go to a movie with you. I'm working on my book. And let's say she gets really mad, you know, or really dramatic or really frustrated that, like, you're putting your book over her friendship, let's say. you're actually setting the tone for her and for others in your life. You're showing them how to set a boundary. You're becoming a person that a lot of people are afraid to be. Someone who does focus on their own stuff and sees where it takes them. You don't have to be the next Stephen King to want to take some time every week to write. You can just be you. You don't have to justify it to anyone. You don't have to like give them some return on investment. But when you start doing that stuff, people around you will notice, and you'll find people will open up to you. This happened a lot. When I first started a blog, I was only blogging for like my friends and family. And honestly, my audience is still currently not that big. It's friends and family and then word of mouth from there. I'm not like some giant influencer person. But it doesn't matter, because the people who when I just started blogging, you will not believe the number of people who reached out to me in those first couple of years saying, wow, I wish I could do what you do. I always wanted to start a blog. I always wanted to write a book. And I wasn't even doing anything that exciting in my mind, but it had an impact on people. And that cycle of doing something and then you have a positive impact. And then you do something else and you have a positive impact, that's going to inspire people. As you get momentum on your dream, people around you will start admitting their dreams to you, and they might even start following them because they see you and they see that it's possible. So that's my other thought on that is, like, as you figure out these boundaries and move forward, you are going to help a lot of people in being a person who does that. So I can't wait for the ripple effect to happen. As you keep doing this, it's really going to change your life and a lot of people's lives. Okay, we have two more things. One is another piece of homework. I want you to look at your calendar or your planner or your phone for the next week, the next 7 days. And I want you to find one thing that is kind of annoying you on your calendar that you don't want to do. And I want you to say no to it. I want you to reschedule. I want you to say, hey, sorry, I'm busy that night. I thought I could come, but I can't. Find one thing. And if there's nothing on your calendar you can do that for, like, I agree, like, some instances you just can't do that with, like, parent-teacher conferences, for example. But if there's nothing on your calendar now, keep your ears open for the people who are going to ask you in the next few days about doing things, and say no to one person. So that's your homework. Say no to one thing to clear a little space. And the last piece of homework for this entire video series is sort of unconventional, but it is you're going to write a poem. So this goes with our theme of I'm not perfect, but I am a lot of other things. So you're going to write a poem, and I started it down in the homework, and I'll probably write one and put it in the comments too, just to like share. It doesn't have to be the best poem ever. You don't have to share it if you don't want. But you're going to write a poem, and it's going to start off by saying, I'm not perfect, but instead I am so much more. And then you're going to write for a while what's on your heart in poem fashion. If you need help with that, like if you haven't written a poem before or you're nervous about it, you can email me, inspire@kelseyhorton.com. Otherwise, just put it in the comments and I can help you out. I realize writing a poem can be intimidating, but that's our homework. And that's the kind of homework I love to give my clients too, like sort of wacky stuff. Maybe writing a poem doesn't seem like a giant thing in the course of our lives, but actually I think it is. Because reclaiming that, like, even if we're not perfect, we can do our dreams. Even if we're not perfect, we can figure out how to clear some space in our lives. That's actually a huge thing, and something that we all end up needing to learn and practice and revisit over and over again. All right, I'll write my poem in the next couple days and get that in the comments for you. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I have so many cool things to share with you as a result of this journey on this video series. I'm just so grateful. Have a wonderful day.